Well, hey, welcome to Movie Community College. I am the professor, Jeremy Bulling. How are you? First of all, let us do this. Let us raise our mug in victory. And I want to talk to you about the idea of Bollywood films. And I know that folks on the channel sometimes get upset when I gather all of these films into the label of Bollywood. No offense, I don't mean any disrespect to you. So let's call them Indian films. Let's call them foreign films. But I want you to know, from my point of view, from the American point of view, uh, everybody kind of thinks of it as Bollywood, and that's kind of my own culture coming through. So I apologize. I don't mean any offense to you over that. Um, but I wanted to do a video kind of talking about my experience here with the Bollywood films. Um, I started this channel because I really enjoy movies. I don't know a whole lot about movies, and we joked around about calling it movie community college because it's not a full university like some of the big channels, right? You're kind of just putting together what you can. And I'm really not a professor. I just say that because it would be funny to be a professor from the movie community college. Um, and we wanted to kind of talk about just different movies that we like, and I started off doing some superhero stuff because I go and I see the movies like Avengers, but I don't know all of the backstory to things. So I start researching and looking at comics and doing these things. So I wanted to share what I've learned with the two people at the time that were watching the videos. And I did a video for Ip Man 4 with Mike Tyson. And I did a reaction video to it, and I started playing around with stuff on my webcam. Uh, you know, and somebody said to me, "Hey, listen, I saw this. You should do Bollywood trailer reactions, Indian movie trailer reactions." And I thought to myself, okay, I don't know anything really about them, so I started off really kind of, naive to the whole movie industry of the India subcontinent, and I watched some trailers, and you know, at first it was confusing. At first it was I wasn't sure what was going on, and then I thought to myself, you know what, this you're making this way too hard, dude. If you can tell a story, you can tell a story. Good storytelling isn't required of me to know the language. I mean, does it help? Sure, it helps to find out the finer points, but if what is being conveyed into the trailer? So as I started watching this, I started seeing just really good talent in things, right? Really good talent. Like, I started seeing things like special effects that were really, really good. I started seeing really good direction in some of these trailers where you're like, wow, that was put together really well. You started seeing really people who looked like they could really act. Like this was like, really a, first class, top notch production. And during some of my videos, I refer to myself as the ugly American. And when I say that, it's because from the American point of view, all there is Hollywood, and everything else out there is kind of terrible. It's just like all secondary. It's secondary, it's second tier, it's third tier. And what I've started to find as I challenged myself in that area over kind of my own preconceived ideas is this paradigm where I had Hollywood here and everything else below is beginning to shift like this, right? So I decided, what I should do is I should watch some of these films and do a movie review. And the very first one I watched was A Holiday, A Soldier Never Has a Holiday. And it was okay. There were things that were fun about it. There were things that I didn't really follow. But after watching that, some things have struck me completely. I was just like, oh, this is completely different than the American film. The American film is much shorter. When you look at the American film versus the Indian film, 90 minutes maybe. A lot of the Indian films are long, like 2.5, 3 hours, 3.5 hours long. And that was my first thing was like, this is like really, really long, and but that quickly, if it's a good film, that quickly dissipates. You lose track of time. So I thought that was different, right? The intermission. American films don't have an intermission. I would watch these films and then it would stop for intermission, and I was thinking like, what intermission, right? And then when you watch an American film, unless it is designated a musical, there are no musical numbers in them. When you watch these Indian films, a lot of them have a musical number in it, where you're watching the film and all of a sudden a music video breaks out, and somebody starts singing and dancing and whatnot, and I watched it and I was like, this is completely counterintuitive to what I'm used to in the American cinematic kind of experience. And then I moved on, and I think I watched, the next movie I watched was Mary Com. Mary Com, that movie was intense. The woman who played Mary, I mean, I was stunned. I was stunned by her performance. And if you guys can watch my movie review on that, I break down crying during that thing, because when they showed that scene at the end where she's fighting in her last fight, and the baby is having health issues, and it's like the baby's heart stops, she gets knocked. I mean, it was incredible. And then you see the woman who played Mary Com now is an American television show called Quantico. And I thought, well, but that's pretty cool. Good for her. And she retweeted about my movie review. Somebody tweeted her about this reaction. She retweeted it, commented on it. And I thought, wow, that was really nice. You couldn't get an American actor to do that, right? Like an established American actor to do that. Then I watched Ungali. And now by Ungali, I'm kind of getting used to the Indian way of telling a story. And my views on my preferences on cinematic storytelling is changing now, right? It's absolutely changing. And I found myself in Ungali starting to become, the Indian films at first were kind of a mystery to me, an enigma, a riddle, something strange, different. Now I'm really enjoying them. Now I'm becoming a fan of them after Mary Com. Ungali, I started seeing it a little bit differently. And I thought to myself, what I need to do is I need to go back and look at the trailer Bang Bang. Because when I first watched that trailer, I did a trailer review on it, and I was like, and I thought to myself, I can tell my preferences are changing. And I want to go back and look at that trailer again. I saw it through completely different eyes. I said, I got to watch this movie. I watched the movie. I loved it. I mean, when I look at my first experience with an Indian film, watching it, the Soldier's Holiday thing, it was very bizarre, very weird to me. I was just like, I don't know what's going on here. This is when I watched Bang Bang, I loved it, man. I absolutely loved the film. I loved the experience. I still have music caught in my head from that film. I don't know what they're singing, but it was like do 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 do. I still have that going on. So, kind of here is where I have kind of view it now, right? This is kind of how I view the Bollywood film now as compared to American film. I find American filmmaking kind of boring. It's the same thing over and over and over again. It's almost like Hollywood is out of ideas, that we got to go and recycle all this stuff. Now, I'm sure this happens in the Indian film genre, but I'm not aware of it yet, right? But here's what I love about Bollywood, right? This is how I'm sorry, forgive me. Here's what I love about the Indian films. This is what I love about them, okay? The things that I thought was strange at first, I'm embracing and I love. I love the fact that the movie is long. You know why? You can make this an event, right? 3.5 hours, you can make this like an event. You can go and get your friends together and go watch this thing. You can eat food, you can party, you can watch the film and be entertained, right? I like that, number one. Number two, I like the fact that a lot of the sexual tension that comes up in the film is implied, right? It hasn't hit the point of like the American films where you're seeing tit and ass everywhere, where everything is just right out there. There's no, the American film, when it portrays some kind of sexual innuendo, appeals to the lowest common denominator within us. Here it doesn't. It's like it's very romantic. It's stealing a kiss here and there in a scene. It's the look of like, but it's all implied, and I really love it. It has a certain je ne sais quoi to it. It has a certain appeal to it of like like some of the great American films back in the 30s and 40s where it was just implied and it doesn't become its own tawdry separate thing. I love that. I love the fact that the music videos happen in there, that we have this break from action or the story and we go into song and dance over it. What I'm finding now, if I pay attention to the song and dance, is it helps to further the storyline. I'm seeing the current scene through a specific actor's eyes as he's kind of explaining what is going on in the scene or where they're at in the movie. So I find it very helpful to watch these things because it is getting me more in touch with the actor's motivation for what's going on in the shot. I enjoy the intermission. I think that's pretty cool to do. Wouldn't it be nice when you're in a theater, especially if you're watching, like when I saw Batman v Superman, and it's a long film, 2.5 hours. At some point in time, you're like, I really got to go to the bathroom. I don't want to miss anything. What do I miss if I leave? Right? And the fact that you have the intermission, or you want to make a sandwich or something, you can do that. You can just pause because it's intermission. You don't want to. It's a natural breaking point. This genre of Indian films has been amazing to watch and to get into, and I got a list, and everybody sends me a list here on the channel. I get a list of do this trailer, check out this trailer, watch this movie, and I make a list and I try to work through them because I get all these lists and emails, and I'm trying to work through them, and I got to tell you, I am falling in love with this Indian subculture film. It's amazing, and I feel like a guy. This is what I feel like. I feel like a guy who has found like this great neighborhood restaurant that you go into it and the food is just amazing, the service is great, the prices are affordable, and you're like, nobody knows about this place. It's just a couple of us are here and we're enjoying this great meal. And I think that this is only going to explode. I know Bollywood industry, the Indian film industry is bigger than the Hollywood film industry. But from the American point of view, it's just a matter of time before more Americans cross over into this. And I feel lucky because it's like, hey, I already got a place at the place, like that's my seat over there. That's, it's kind of my table. And I think that this is just fun to watch, it's just fun to watch how good these films are, to watch it kind of spread into the American culture, and I look forward to seeing where the Indian film industry goes here in America. I know AMC is involved with this, and I'd like to. I got AMC's around me, and I'm going to go check out some of these Indian films there in the theater. I think that would be amazing, and I just want to thank everybody who watches the videos, who comments. Even when you hate on me or you correct me, that's fine. I'm trying to learn culture as I go along with this. But this has really been a blast. I really, truly thank you for your support. And what else can I say except this? Peace. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe to the channel. That way you can be up to date on all of our new videos. God bless you. I hope you have a good week, and we'll catch you next time.